Hey there, this is the One Boom. Today we're talking about the TAQ-56 in Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer. This isn't going to be about Warzone or DMZ or Ground War, just traditional multiplayer because I'm a normie. The TAQ-56 has been talked about a lot recently because the competitive players are using it, the pro players are using it, pub stompers are using it, people in ranked play are using it. It is a very, very viable weapon. If you want to know why, just go over to synthic.gg. It's really easy to figure out why people are using it. This weapon is going to kill in 3 shots up to about 28 meters to the upper torso. I mean, the ISO is a little bit better because it can kill in 3 shots without needing the upper torso shots. Essentially, the ISO is just a unbalanced TAQ-56, but of course the ISO fires at 600 RPM, but the SCAR here fires at 625 RPM. The rifle is also very, very controllable, which makes a lot of sense realistically. I mean, the SCAR is a pretty heavy weapon platform, and the 5.56 round is fairly accurate and low recoil. I mean, if the M4 in this game is going to be controllable, it would only make sense that this gun would be a little bit more controllable than the M4, just due to its weight increase. I don't think video games should be completely balanced off of real life, but I just think it makes sense. You can clearly see it's a heavier looking rifle, so if it's going to fire the same caliber, and at a lower rate of fire, it would just make sense that it's a lot more controllable that way, because I don't think video games are going to get too much into ergonomics of a weapon, but in terms of just weight, rate of fire, and caliber fired, this should be a more accurate, controllable weapon than the M4. But when you have something that's a little bit more accurate than an M4 and only slightly slower, that's where you start getting into some potential balance issues. So what do I mean by this? Well, for starters, the M4 and the TAQ-56 both have the same aim down sight speed, which is not very balanced in my opinion. They also both have the same sprint to fire speed, which also doesn't make much sense to me, seeing how the TAQ-56 is supposed to be considerably heavier. It also doesn't make sense that the M4 is only ever so slightly faster when it comes to ADS walking and strafing speeds and sprint speed and tactical sprint speeds. Basically, the M4 is for people that want a higher rate of fire and slightly faster movement speed, but unfortunately, this is a customizable weapon. You can make this gun faster than a default M4 while having the controllability and versatility and long-range adaptability of the TAQ-56, which is a little concerning in my opinion, at least in terms of balance. I mean, look at this incredibly simple build on screen here. Now, this is taken from sim.gg, and this build here only aims down sight 2 milliseconds slower than default, is incredibly controllable. I've tested out this build myself, and it's faster than a stock M4, while being an absolute laser beam capable of 3-shotting people to the upper torso. Look, a weapon firing at 625 RPM, capable of 3-shotting people to the upper torso and head, with absolute laser beam-like accuracy, moving around as fast as an M4, I think there's some pretty good grounds here for a nerf. Now, I don't think the gun should have a massive damage difference, but I'm going to propose 2 little nerfs here because I believe the TAQ-56 is a little bit out of control. It's only moderately slower than something like an M4, and I think it should be a little bit heavier. It should be built to be a little bit slower. And I think the attachments that speed it up, like the TV Cardinal stock and the 12-inch TAQ short barrel, those should give more downsides than they currently do. Less recoil stability, less bullet velocity, and less range. Because by using the short barrel, you're only missing about 5 meters off your 3-shot kill range. It goes from around 28 to around 23. And again, that's not that bad. And you can do a little bit of extra tuning to, well, tune that up a little bit. Like, I think the SCAR versus the M4 already is a little bit glaring, just completely naked. But when you compare the SCAR with attachments and tuning to an M4 with attachments and tuning, there's a reason that people in ranked are running the SCAR, the TAQ-56, but it's a SCAR-L, we all know. You know, one of the big reasons the SCAR wasn't adopted by our military or by militaries in general is that it's heavy. It's just a heavier, clunkier rifle. I'm not saying it's impossibly heavy, and I'm not saying it's unusable, but there's a reason it didn't replace the M4. Well, first of all, the real reason for that is that it's too expensive in real life, but the heaviness and the ergonomics just didn't help at all. I think that could translate into the game here by just having a little bit worse sprint out time, aim down sight speed, and movement speed. And I think the attachments that make up for those slower shortcomings that could maybe bring it more in line with an AR platform thing like the M4 or the M13B or something like that, If you wanted to bring it more in line, I think you should have more accuracy downsides. Basically, give the two high mobility stocks more of a recoil increase, and the same thing should go for the TAQ short barrel. Then I think the longest barrel should also have more shortcomings than it currently does. I think the reason you should want to use a TAQ-56 is that you want a heavier, more controllable, versatile AR. But that heavy controllable part should come at the cost of mobility, not in addition to the mobility it has. This build on screen here is damning. I honestly don't know how you can just condone this level of accuracy and mobility in this game. I mean, if this gun fired literally 10 rounds per minute faster, I'd say nerf the shit out of it, but I would say keeping its rate of fire and its shots to kill and everything, fine. Just make it slower. The way the gun feels when you're aimed down sight shooting people, that feels really good. It's all of the mobility tied to it that's the issue. You can make up for its very slightly slower mobility by just dumping speed attachments on it. And stuff like the FSS OLEV laser, while it's not usable in ranked, it is usable in pubs where more people are, and it does bring the gun more in line with lighter rifles that I don't think it should be as in line with. I mean, my favorite build doesn't even use an underbarrel. All you need is a sack and tread 40 and maybe some tuning for recoil stability or stabilization, and you're good. There are lots of good guns in this game, and I'm not saying this is the only good gun in the game. No, I'm just not saying that. That would be stupid. I'm saying there's a reason everyone's flocking to it. It is controllable, high damage, and just way too high of mobility for that controllability and for that damage. Where an M4's recoil starts to be its biggest enemy and starts to get 4, 5, 6 shot kills, the TAQ-56 is consistently pumping out 4 shot kills with next to no recoil. And again, within that 28, 25 meter range, you're gonna be getting 3 shot kills. So I don't see why this gun hasn't been nerfed, and you can nerf it realistically. Let that lower rate of fire and that heavier chassis define it more in the meta as the little bit slower AR player's gun. Right now, it's not a slower AR player's gun. This gun is literally made fun of consistently by the weapon YouTubers I like to watch, like Grantham, for its weight and clunk. That needs to be expressed in the game so that we don't have just a 0 recoil, 3-shot killing, high-speed demon. The beautiful thing about Gunsmith is it lets people make the guns they want to look at and play with in ways that fit their playstyles better, but it's not great when you can just take a gun's shortcomings and remove them. If you're building the TAQ-56 for recoil control, you're wasting your time. You don't need the no recoil stock and the F-TAC Ripper and the sack and tread 40 and a high zoom optic. Just a sack and tread 40 and a bunch of speed attachments and some high velocity rounds, and you're good to fucking go. I mean, with the short barrel and high velocity ammunition, your bullets are still moving at 794 meters per second. That's comparable, if not better, than a lot of marksman rifles and battle rifles in the game. It's better than the P90 and the FSS Hurricane, which have just higher normal bullet velocity. So not only can you have a lightweight 3-shot killing low recoil assault rifle, it can have damn near sniper rifle bullet velocity to boot. I love weapon customization, but not if it takes what should be balanced shortcomings and completely removes them, when the most you should be able to do is manage and mitigate them, not just remove the downsides altogether and make it into an overpowered monster. The ease of use is too high. So that's why I think the TAQ-56 needs a nerf. There are realistic grounds for it, and also just some things that make more sense for this game. If it's gonna hit this hard, this accurately, I think it should move a little slower while doing it. And I think the things that make it faster should be nerfed. If you want to use my really fun TAQ-56 build I use in pubs, it would be this guy right here on screen. It is exceptionally good. The stats are so good on it. I went into sim.gg, put the attachments in, and saw that, yeah, there's a reason I like this build. You do lose a little bit of that 3-shot kill range, but you just make up for it with complete and total ease of use and high mobility. Then all you have to do is control your engagements a little bit, do some attachment tuning to fit your playstyle, and you're golden. And I'm sure a lot of you are gonna note that some guns have lower recoil, or some guns have a faster fire rate, or some guns are more mobile, but I'm gonna tell you this right now. The way Modern Warfare 2 plays currently, the way the meta is in the average 6v6 game, completely caters to the TAQ-56 build that I'm showing here on screen. High mobility, versatile ARs in Call of Duty are always overpowered, they're always overused. And Modern Warfare 2, while not the campiest Call of Duty game to ever exist, is not exactly an SMG rusher's paradise. So a weapon like this already would be pretty damning to go up against in other COD games. It is incredibly damning here, because it's not just good, it's absolutely meta. See you when I see you guys. Thank you guys for coming out to this video. If you guys want more videos like this, please hit the like. And if you guys want to watch me get this gameplay live, hit the bell icon. I do stream on this channel. I do not stream on Twitch, I stream on this channel. And yeah, see you in the next video.